might be the most unlucky player in the entire WNBA.
Marina Mabrey's career in the WNBA has been nothing short of a roller coaster, and right now she's in the middle of one of the most intense sagas in recent memory. You could easily call her the most unlucky player in the league, especially considering the way things have unfolded for her over the past few years. Mabrey has found herself in a strange predicament with the Connecticut Sun, and it looks like she's stuck between a rock and a hard place. Let's backtrack a bit to understand how we got here. Over the past 3 years, Mabrey has bounced from one team to another. First, she was traded from the Dallas Wings, where things didn't work out, then to the Chicago Sky, and now she finds herself with the Connecticut Sun. Each time, Mabrey requested a trade, and each time, her teams obliged, usually with pretty substantial returns in terms of draft picks and players. For the most part, she's had some control over her career, but this time around, that control is slipping away. It's not just a simple case of a player wanting to move on from a bad situation. This time, it's much more complicated. The Sun, already a team going through a roster shakeup, have put their foot down and are refusing to trade her. That's right, Marina Mabrey, who has moved from team to team at her discretion, is suddenly on the receiving end of a hard no. Connecticut has been very clear that they are not letting her go anywhere. But why has it come to this? The Sun have lost a lot of their star players, which has created a very different dynamic for the team. Alyssa Thomas, one of the cornerstones of the team, left for Phoenix. Duana Bonner made her way to Indiana, and even key players like Dejonai Carrington and Natisha Heedman are gone. When Mabrey was traded to Connecticut, they gave up a lot to get her: draft picks, valuable players, everything. They were banking on her to help them contend for a championship. But now, with so many stars gone and Mabrey wanting out, it's all falling apart in a way that's almost tragic. This situation with the Sun is like something you'd see in a soap opera. Mabrey's trade request has been met with a hard stance from team president Jennifer Rosati, who has made it clear that they're not backing down. The Sun took a big risk by acquiring Mabrey in the first place, knowing her history of forcing her way out of teams. Yet they chose to take the gamble. But now that Mabrey wants out again, and with the roster depleting, Rosati and the Sun are sticking to their guns. The situation has gotten so tense that it's hard to ignore the behind-the-scenes drama. Imagine being Mabrey right now. She's stuck in a place where she no longer feels like she belongs. She wanted to play for a contender, a team that was going to compete at the highest level, and instead, she finds herself in a place where it seems like the window for that championship has closed. On top of that, the team's practice facilities are shared with kids' birthday parties. You heard that right. The Sun have been practicing in community centers and gyms where children are celebrating their birthdays next door. Picture this: elite athletes trying to fine-tune their game while balloons float in the background, and kids scream as they chase a piñata. It's the kind of absurdity that you couldn't make up if you tried. This chaotic reality makes it almost impossible for the Suns players to take themselves seriously, and it's no wonder Mabrey feels like she's trapped in a nightmare. It's not just that she's not playing on a contender, she's also dealing with conditions that are laughable for a professional basketball team. These practice facilities, while they serve their purpose, are far from ideal for a team trying to compete at the highest level. When you think of the state-of-the-art training facilities that teams like the Las Vegas Aces and the Phoenix Mercury have, it's easy to see why this might be demoralizing for someone like Mabrey. What's even more frustrating is that Rosati, the president of the Sun, seems to have no plans to fix the situation anytime soon. She said that by 2028, every WNBA team will have its own practice facility. But that feels like a distant promise, and in the meantime, Mabrey is stuck dealing with the circus around her. It's not just about basketball anymore, it's about respect and how the players are treated. For someone like Mabrey, who has been through so much already in her career, this is a massive blow to her morale. Now let's talk about the Suns' stance. They aren't just denying Mabrey's trade request because they want to be difficult, they're making a point. They're standing firm on the idea that if they let one player leave just because they're unhappy, it could set a dangerous precedent for the rest of the league. Imagine if every player who felt unhappy with their situation started demanding trades. The chaos that would ensue would be hard to manage, and the Sun are trying to avoid that. But by holding on to Mabrey, they are risking more than just a player's unhappiness. They could be risking the overall morale of the team, the support of their fan base, and even their reputation within the league. The problem here is that Connecticut has no leverage. Mabrey is clearly unhappy, and while they can refuse her trade request, there's only so much they can do. If Mabrey decides to go full on Jimmy Butler mode, as some are predicting, she could easily create chaos on the court, forcing the Sun to trade her just to get rid of the negative energy she brings. But the risk here is that Mabrey's reputation could suffer. We've seen it before with players who make their dissatisfaction so obvious that it affects their future prospects. It's a dangerous game, but one that Mabrey might be forced to play if she truly wants out. So what's the future here? Will the Sun hold firm, or will they eventually cave to Mabrey's demands? Will Mabrey decide to take matters into her own hands and cause problems on the court? It's impossible to say, but what's clear is that the WNBA is witnessing a pivotal moment in its history. This situation between Mabrey and the Sun is unlike anything we've seen before. It's not just about a player wanting out, it's about the bigger picture of player power, team dynamics, and how the league is evolving. Marina Mabrey is in a difficult position, but so are the Sun. Both sides are at a crossroads, and the drama is far from over. Will Mabrey stay and try to make the best of a bad situation, or will she force her way out once again, perhaps damaging her career in the process? And what does this mean for the rest of the WNBA? This is a moment that will have ripple effects throughout the league for years to come. Fans and analysts alike are watching with bated breath to see how it all plays out. As we continue to watch this situation unfold, it's clear that the WNBA is at a crossroads. The dynamics between players and teams are changing, and how the Sun and Mabrey handle this moment will set the tone for future player-team relationships. Whether this ends in a trade, a blow-up, or a dramatic turn of events, one thing is certain: the WNBA will never be the same. And Marina Mabrey, whether she stays or goes, will be at the center of it all.